Welcome back to NC Bassin. I'm Landon Moore. Today we're on Lake Norman from Ramsey Creek. Got 1 week until the season kicks off for me. First Foothills tournament of the year is at Lake Norman. I feel like I got to do good on this tournament. Lake Norman being my home lake. I'm really out here to practice, but I'm second in the monthly. I'm really not too worried about the monthlies. I only got today and next week that I can even fish in the monthly. I'd like to get a better pattern just to get bites, because I only had 5 bites last week. Even though they're really good ones, I'd be really happy with that in a tournament. We all know tournament days can be a lot tougher. I need to find a pattern I can catch a bunch of smaller fish on, at least to get, I mean, it's only a 3 fish limit, so I really want to throw that big bait, a big weight bait all day and try to get 3 big bites. I just like to find an area of fish where I know for sure I can get bites, because there's going to be a BFL out here the same day, so there's going to be a lot of boats out here, a lot of pressure on these fish. Hopefully we can catch a couple of big ones, find a good pattern for a tournament. We'll see how it goes. Golly, and he come off again. Oh my God, he just jumped right there. I have had 3 bites on a fluke. Somehow I'm losing them on a fluke. Makes no sense. I keep chasing these fish out here on bait. I can't get a bite. They look small anyway. Big ones are up shallow. I just gotta stick to shallow. I just can't land them on a fluke for some reason. Oh my God. Oh, that was at least a 2.5 pound spot. Just swiped at this thing. That's my sign to throw the moonshiner. Yes. Tiny one. I think he's tiny. Yep. I only got one though, and something is wrong with this hook, dude. And he was like a 14-incher. Oh, that's a fish. Wow, I thought I had grass again. Finally. Maybe can land one on the fluke. At least I found a way to get bites, and it ain't tournament day, so if I just keep, as long as I don't lose them like this on tournament day, that is a fat fish. I mean, you think the buck bass would be the ones that would move up the spawn, but they're not. The only fish up shallow are the big females. Definitely take him on the fluke. I can't get a bite in the pockets. These points are going to be just loaded with boats when there's a BFL out here. Oh my, thought I was in the grass again. He's got me on something. I don't know what he's got me on. He might be a big one. I think he's got me in that hole. Finally got a bite on a Wacky rig. Oh my gosh, good one. Yes. Stay hooked. Oh, he's not that good, just fat. Oh, he's a good one. He's a good one on the Wacky rig. Yes. Not huge or nothing, but finally a fish where they're supposed to be. The further back I go, the less bites I get. I'm just telling myself how dumb I am. Keep going to the back of this pocket, but I can't fish on the main lake when there's going to be a BFL. It's going to be impossible. Yes, what a fat football. That is a good one. That is a fat fish. It's got that baton down his gullet. Maybe I'll just have to let it sit forever. That's a good fish. Yes, finally a female that's staging black floats. First dock into a pocket. That's where they should be. Like, that's what I was hoping to get a pattern going. But the sun's not out, it'd probably help a lot. But that's a fat one. Yes. Almost 3 pounds, guys. 18 1/4, 286. Bright colored fish. I like it. Had him out of the water way too long. There he goes. He's mad. I got a fish. I've been letting that sit for 10 minutes. Little largemouth. Oh, he's got one with him. It's about the same size. He ain't gonna help me. I wonder if I can drop a jig down or a fluke. This is not allowed. You can't put 2 lines in the water at once. If I catch another fish, then it won't count. The other one's gone. That's cool, catch a largemouth. The one that was with him was a tiny bit bigger, about the same size. Look like another largemouth. There's a weird colored largemouth. Little fat guy. Not gonna help, but maybe the bite's picking up. It's just weird. I usually don't. This time of day is usually dead for me. About 12 o'clock it starts. It's 11 now. I'm just glad to get some bites back in pockets. Gives me hope. There we go. He feels small, but he's tiny. Of course, this whole there's a spot actually back here. So shallow. I'm trying to keep these fish honest going all the way back to these pockets. I feel like I'm wasting time, but there's an actual small fish. They do exist. Back here in the very back of the pocket. I expect to catch buck bass back here. Like the males usually move up before the females. There's a fish. God, they all feel big on the spinning rod. Looks decent. I mean, just have to let it sit on the bottom. I mean, I was just crawling it on the bottom. Not big. He picked it up. I'll swallow it as soon as, I mean, I was moving it, so I know he didn't bite it before that. Just a little guy. I could get a few bites, but the water's 57 here, and they're still just not up shallow. All these docks are pretty shallow, but the ones that have a little bit deeper water near them seem to get bit. But it ain't much of a pattern still, because this is halfway in a pocket, beginning of pockets on the main creek. I can't figure out where they're at. They're just random. Fish on the grass patch out there. If I can keep this one hooked, he's so small. I actually use my side scan. There's a deep patch of grass out there. There's a spotted bass in the grass. I mean, it's like 7 foot deep right out there. It might be a place to mark, actually. Old roadbed too, yeah, definitely a place to mark. He's throwing up bait everywhere. Not going to help, but he'll help my confidence a little bit. His eyes aren't red yet, but they're going to get red. He's definitely a male. Water temperature's 58 now. It's warmed up a little bit. Air temperature's like 58 too. I'm actually in the lead now. Somehow caught one good fish all day, but I'll be happy if I get 3 that size early. Then I can throw big baits. They will bite a fluke. Fluke does work. I just can't land them. I mean, I'm glad it's not tournament day. Nice one. Maybe feels like it. Damn, that might have been the fish out of this fluke. He's big. He's fighting like he's big, but he's not. There's a fish. I'm a Wacky rig. Now the buck bass are pulling up shallow. Just a little guy. I just seen him swirl and threw like 20 feet away from where I just seen him take off. I spooked a fish, and that could have been him. Maybe, maybe not. Well, guys, it was a tough day. Really slow. I mean, the conditions weren't the greatest. There's going to be a lot less boats here than there's going to be next week. I mean, the east wind, there's very little wind, and it was east wind. That really hurts the bite. Right now, though, it's saying it's going to be 50 miles per hour west wind next week, bright and sunny. I mean, the conditions can definitely change, but if it's going to be over 15, I'm not even going to put in down here. It's crazy down here when the wind's blowing, especially out of the west. So hoping I can come out here early, get them on moonshiner. A little bit of wind will be great. Like 5 to 7 will be perfect. Catch a couple of big ones. I mean, the early bite's going to be really key. It's already key. The big fish bite early, but when you got a BFL, we get to launch at 6:30, so it's like 30 minutes till daylight. So we have like 30-minute head start on the bass boats. These fish have got to be moving up. It just seems like they're not quite staged up to spawn yet. It's still really early, but these fish always spawn down here early, like in March. Hopefully everything goes right. Win the tournament next week. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time on NC Bassin'.